have to think about like some women that are in positions like that, right? You have children that you really heavily consider. You don't want to split your children's house up, right? Then you've been financially dependent on this man for however
I
long.
don't I
He
don't
controls your finances. Like
I don't I don't
you think
I
it's
don't
very black and white.
I don't
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After I Do. I am your host, Tanisha G, and I'm here with my husband.
your husband. Put some
We go
respect to my
through
name.
this every week. My husband.
Molito.
Hey, babe.
Alright, as my daughter says, Molito.
Molito. She goes, that's Dad. He's Molito.
Hey boo.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going.
How's your week?
Uh great.
Oh, he decided to surprise us.
It was great.
It was great.
Yes.
What made it great?
Only worked 3 days.
And you got to spend time with your family.
That wasn't the good part. I'll see you all the time. I was just happy to be home. I got to enjoy the amenities I pay for monthly. I appreciate that.
Wow.
I also got to go to the gym with my wife, but
That's always fun.
she's in there being a little weak bee, so
Really?
yeah.
I really?
Yeah.
I hit a new high today. And you not like
But
you
it should have been a low.
but you didn't say like great job. I had eyes in the gym today. And you still didn't say like good job, babe. You're like, yeah, you're still being a weak bitch.
Yeah, you could have went heavier.
And FYI, he don't call me bitch. I tell him this is the inner dialogue that I have with myself when I'm not pushing myself with my weight training, and I call myself a weak bitch. So now it's like an ongoing kind of like joking thing with this when he sees that I'm not like really pushing myself with my sets. He be like, "Don't be up in here being a weak bitch." So that's what
That's
he
what she today.
just FYI before people be like, "Oh damn, you let him call you a bitch." It's not like that
I
at
call
all.
you whatever I want to call you. Ain't no problem.
You guys, you guys, don't don't let this man get up here.
I call
What's
you
going
what
on?
I wanna
But
call
anyway,
you.
yes, I think that was like my favorite part too. I love when we can go to the gym together. We have a lot of fun at the gym
I
together.
love the
It's
workout part of it.
actually one of our favorite things to do together. Is go to the gym. And then I also love like when we do like family things, family activities. Like yesterday we took a family walk, she rode her bike. We
She
got
said I
some.
ain't walking. I'm gonna get my bike.
Yeah, we was like, okay, Phoenix, we have a little bit of time. Like, in the evening Thursday, she doesn't have anything really going on Thursdays. We usually do most of our studying and stuff. And so we were like, let's just take a family walk so we can get some family exercise and we can get some evening exercise. And she was like, okay, I'll ride my bike.
She meant that.
We were like, okay, it was a family walk. And she was like, no, I'm gonna ride my bike.
And she meant that.
So, but that was fun. Um, what else? What else was the highlight of your week?
My daughter got a cannon. I
You talking
played
about her arm?
yeah, I played catch with her
Oh
yesterday.
my gosh.
She's not accurate.
Not by any means.
But 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 I said maybe I
Had
should
fun. She
I was like,
enjoyed
maybe I
it.
should put you on softball because she was like, Dad, I want to hit the ball too. I said, Dad ain't gonna be chasing no balls.
We'll probably have to explore a season of like
Mm.
well, she's not too young to do T-ball, right?
I don't know.
I got to see what age that is. I'll have to look something up and see
I
if I
don't know.
can
We'll
find
figure it
it.
out.
But like she's
I
just
think
at
she's
this
fast
age.
T-ball.
We just want her to be able to explore all the things that she thinks she's interested in. Like she thought she was interested in soccer, so that's what we did. She found out soccer is not her game of choice. Um so now she's like showing an interest in like, I guess softball, baseball, whatever. So we're going to try to explore that, see if we can fit that in somewhere. If she decides to give up probably dance. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, just making sure she's exposed to as many things as possible. But yeah, so my week was good. It's always nice having you home. Um,
Word. That's
you
great.
being able to be in the thick of the routine and stuff.
Into the thick of it.
Even though, like, okay, so it was funny. So on Wednesdays she has tap dance, right? And so this was like actually this was the first practice you've been to.
Yeah, the first
Yeah,
because I can't go
I
Mondays. I'm
know,
at work.
but it just dawned on me. So this was the first practice he's ever been to, right? And then of course, we're getting ready for competition and recital this weekend. So the studio right now is kind of like a
Yo,
little mini madhouse. It's a mini madhouse right now. There's sewing machines everywhere, there's heat presses everywhere. There's like thousands of costumes, all the moms are full on deck, rhinestoning pants. Like the studio is crazy, and all of the dancers are in the studio because we have competition and recital this week. So he walks in, and of all days, and I tried to tell him, like, even getting him there, I was like, "You're not the only dance dad that's there. Like, there's other dance dads that are there." But of all days, we get to dance, and none of the dance dads are there. And so Maurice walks in, and he's looking, and he's like, "It's a madhouse in here," and I'm
no,
like,
tell them what I said.
"What'd you say?" You said it was a madhouse.
And then I walked out and I
Oh,
said,
and
"What?"
he left because he was like, "It's too many ovaries," and plus because like all the girls, like all the little girls, all the way to the teenage girls, they all have dance attire on. So a lot of dance attire is like bralettes and like
There wasn't
leotards
a space for me.
and brief pants, really short shorts, two pieces.
So I wasn't really paying attention, right? Because I was reading my manga, and
Hmm.
because I've been reading my manga heavy, and
Uh-huh.
it's going hard, right? So I was in my phone reading, and I realized you had walked outside,
I stepped outside. Yeah.
and then Phoenix had walked away because her class was starting. So then I looked up, and I was like, wait, this looks weird. I'm the only grown man in here with all these. I said, let me get out of here. I said, "Where's my child?" And that's when I walked out. I was like, yeah, it's too many ovaries for
He
me.
was like, "Baby, it's too many ovaries and too many like
I said, I don't want no issues. I don't want no problems. I don't want
too many
nobody.
naked girls just running around."
I don't
Like,
want nobody to feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna just go sit in the car. This
and
ain't
I
for
was
me.
like, I said, "It's not like that. Usually the dads are here. Like literally the dads are there all the time too. Because like they help out, and then like some of them have little. So the way it is when if your kids are like cuties and under, which is like, the little kids, the parents are allowed in the studio, like during practice, but all of the older kids, their parents like are not allowed in the studio. So like when she moves up to the next bracket for next season, for season 8, I won't be able to be in the studio anymore. The only time I'm going to be in the studio is if I'm working on costumes or like helping, prepare for competition or something like that. So that's why we're able to be in the studio, and all the other moms were there because, like I said, they're getting ready for a comp and a recital this weekend. So it had to be all hands on deck getting all
Look
of
at you.
these. Huh?
You get ready for comp.
They're getting ready for comp. So, uh, what? Why are you making fun of me?
I'm a veteran in the game. We're getting ready
Anyway,
for comp.
so they were, hot gluing rhinestone and all of the above, but it was just funny. He was like, "Yeah, I can't do
I will
it."
say those chucks for fire.
The Chucks.
Them chucks for
So
fire.
they
I almost stole a
there's a
pair.
dance that I think it's hip hop or jazz that's doing, and they're wearing Nipsey, I call it Nipsey blue now, but the blue, like Nipsey blue.
Nipsey was a crip.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I call it Nipsey blue now. Nipsey blue Chucks, and they're all like bedazzled and rhinestoned like beautifully. So when we walked in, there was like a long table, and it had all the girls' shoes set up. It was like 20 girls, 30 girls worth of Chuck Taylors like lined up.
Yeah.
And he walks in and he was like, "Those are hard."
Chucks with them doing that. Yeah.
Like, them is hard. And just think, each stone that was put on that shoe was done by hand, one by one.
Good for them. Good thing I'm not part of that lifestyle.
That's what he said. He's like, "And you want to do this?" You do it for the children.
Okay.
So yeah, but other than that, it was a really good week. Happy to have you home. We got a pretty busy weekend, so that should be fun. Can't wait to talk about how all that goes next week. We'll see.
On next week's episode.
On next week's episode, we'll let you know how the weekend went. So yeah. But today I'm really excited because today is our reaction episode day. So we're gonna get into all the fun stuff of the reactions and give our opinions and have some open dialogue. And
It's gonna be some shit.
Mm, I feel, I don't think it's gonna be too terrible.
Okay, well, let's just get into it and see how
Okay,
it go.
let's start off with the first one. Okay,
But
our 2 cents, guys. Our 2 cents. Okay, this one says, "I miss my bachelorette days and my freedom." I'm a 36-year-old female and I have 2 kids. My oldest is 8 and youngest is 3. I am touched out and burned out and overstimulated. I have been breastfeeding for 8 years straight. I've been married for 9 years. In a relationship with my then boyfriend, now husband, for 6 years prior to marriage. My husband and I are incompatible. We are complete opposites of each other. We've had some serious rough periods of our lives, quote unquote, toxic verbal abuse. That separation should have been the answer to our problems. I missed out on dating other people. I've met others who made me think that would have been more compatible with me, but I missed out on that as well. I've met others who are good listeners, good with asking intelligible questions, that I super enjoy having good conversation with, but I also missed out on that because I was already in a relationship. I miss going out and not having to worry about coming home at 12 p.m. because a toddler has to be put to nap. I miss being held up in my own place for days on end without worrying about anything except what I'm going to eat and what I have to study next. I miss going out with my friends and partying. I miss so many things in my youth that I can never get back. I don't have any friends anymore. I just want to go out and have fun, but I also just want to stay home for years and not be bombarded with mommy, mommy, mommy and so much noise. What are your thoughts?
Now, let me ask you this first. Do you want me to be serious, Maurice?
Oh my god.
Or do you want me to be
I want you to be yourself.
with it?
I know, I want you to be yourself and
You want honest answers or
I
you
want
want
you to
funny answers?
honestly answer because this is like a real case
Okay.
scenario. Like,
All right.
what are your real thoughts about it?
Number one, I feel like there's a couple things. It's a
Mhm.
multiple of things. One, I feel she's overstimulated with the kids. She needs
Mhm.
a break. Two, she's lacking excitement, meaning that her husband's not providing her with a level of excitement. So there's not, like you said, it's probably either not in the budget or there's no time because of the children. But there's not enough date nights. There's not enough bubble time, as we call it, right?
Mhm.
Um, Secondly, it feels like she's reflecting on her decisions and she doesn't approve of her choices. And that's never going to lead down a good path. Like you have to just deal with what's going on at hand. So I would say that she needs to communicate with her husband to try to rectify that because I always say just because you're married for 10 years don't mean it's 10 years of happiness or 30 years or 40 or whatever the case may be. There are going to be years where you just going to look across the room and you just ain't going to like who you looking at. That's just the case in point. So I think this is something where I wouldn't say necessarily separate, but I would say possibly like have a conversation, maybe go get some counseling, and then obviously you guys just need to be in a situation where it's just you and your husband because you gravitated towards him for a reason, so just rediscover that reason.
Okay. Now, for me, being a mom who's in a similar situation, I would say this. This immediately made me think about after I had given birth to Phoenix. And do you remember me saying, and I even think I made it a Facebook post. I did make it a Facebook
I just
post.
miss being me.
I just miss me. I just miss me because I think what I gather from what she's saying, there's a loss of identity.
Hmm.
There's only mom, there's only wife.
Hmm.
There is nothing that she has of her own that she feels like she has of her own, right? So then what do you start doing? You start thinking about what your life was before you were mommy, before you were wife, right? Before you had to be a caregiver to everybody, before everybody depended on you to like get through the day or do certain things. She's lost her identity. And that's really easy to do because you get so wrapped up in your family, and that's extremely easy to do. Now, what I would say is, I think that, um, and like I say, personally, when when I sit and I think about like how like what she says about missing the partying, missing being in your house by yourself and not having to come out. Like I remember there was days, especially before we had Phoenix, and you would go to work, I would be in the house by myself like all day practically, right?
Hmm.
And those were some of like the best times just to be in the house by myself, to watch what I wanted to watch, to be on the couch or go out and do whatever just to have my
Oh, so
me
you
time.
was going out. You
the
you was staying
but it's just to have my me time,
home.
right? Like I wasn't obligated just to making sure that a kid was taken care of, or just making sure I was meeting your needs. Like there was a self identity, there was something that I had for myself. What I think has happened now is that she has lost sight of trying to fill up her own cup. She has lost sight of trying to focus on herself. So when she talks about like how she has no friends, she's also isolated, right? So there is not like where she can call up a friend and be like, "Hey, like let's do lunch,"
I wish we had more
or
from her. Like, does she not work?
I don't think she did she say? No, she didn't. She didn't say. But I mean, whether she works or not, the whole self identity thing, I
Mhm,
think, is what the main aspect about this is. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And I don't think that she's necessarily regretting her decisions to be a wife and to be a mother, but she's so wrapped up in the identity of being a wife and a mother that she doesn't know what her identity is anymore. And she just yearns for a little piece of what was before, instead of learning and knowing and understanding now that you can still have that, but you're going to have to work at creating that,
mhm,
and it's going to take a little bit of work and it's going to take a little bit of time. So whether that being like telling your husband like, "Hey, just so you know, every Thursday we need to try to work it into the budget where the kids can be, with such and such for an hour or 2 hours or whatever." Or like, so you go out, you meet new friends, and it's like every Friday you think we can work it into the budget where I can go have lunch with my friend. Like you just have to do things that fill your cup that is only for you. It
mhm.
doesn't have to be with your husband, it doesn't have to be with your kids. It's just something that fills your cup. Now, when it comes to like the relationship with her husband, where she's talking about she feels like they're really incompatible. Just because you're incompatible doesn't mean that you're not necessarily a good fit, right? Because I'm pretty sure there was something that attracted you to him in the first place. But when you lost your own identity, you got wrapped up in being mom and wife. He got wrapped up in being husband and father.
Mhm.
So it almost doesn't. You may not think that he's probably experiencing the same thing, but he definitely probably is experiencing the same thing, and you both are sitting independently having dialogues within your head instead of coming together and saying like, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling. Hey, it really means a lot to me if we can lay down at night and have an intellectual conversation. Like I don't feel that I'm being mentally stimulated." Like those things are super super important.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I like when we can lay down, and I may not know a lot about politics or whatever, but it's gratifying having those types of conversations with you. You know what I'm saying? It's gratifying having conversations that don't pertain to what bills we got to pay, where we got to be, what she got to do, what's going on with your health, what's going on. It's like I don't want to talk about that stuff all the time. I want to talk about like how did you do on your other pod? I want to talk about like, are you going out this weekend? Does your friend have a show, or how was the show? Like I want to have those type of conversations. I want to talk about like, okay, what are we going to be doing when we're voting, and why or why not are we voting for this person? Like, I want to have all those different types of conversations. I want to have the conversations that we had prior to becoming husband and wife and mommy and daddy.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when we get our bubble time and we go away.
You got to get back to the basics.
That's it. You got to get back to the basics. Like, what did you call me? Vacation bay.
Yeah, vacation, back.
Vacation bay. He'd be like, "Can I get vacation bay at
She,
home?"
she, a
You
different,
cannot.
she a different beast.
You can't be. You cannot.
Vacation, bay, a different beast.
You cannot. He used to, babe. Can I get vacation bay? You cannot, because vacation bay. It's a whole different
But you want me to be
mentality.
vacation, bay, all the time.
No, I don't. And you're not vacation bay all the time.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're
I'm
not.
paying for everything all the time.
Goodbye. Goodbye. But so I think it's just a little bit loss of identity. I think that if she tries to make space just for herself, she'll be perfectly fine. And if you and your husband can have this conversation about how you're feeling, I do believe that you will find that he's probably feeling the same way, and you both can be proactive in getting back to a better space.
And it's like, you need to address these things before it leads to resentment.
Right. Because you think that he's probably over there just like content and happy and everything else like that, and he's chances are he's not. Like I promise you he probably is not. So, yeah. What do you think about that one?
It's a lot.
All right. So the next one. This one says, I'm 36 and I went through my boyfriend's finance folder and now I feel like I've been lied to.
You snooping, so it don't matter. You
My
know,
boyfriend is 27 and is currently unemployed. He lives in his father's house and spends most of his time looking for work. He's currently in a program that guarantees him a job, but it doesn't pay until he completes it. We don't live together and we don't go on many dates because he can't afford it, and we end up just making do with the dates at home where he cooks for us and sometimes plans little activities like beach days, karaoke nights, and stuff like that. I've never been high maintenance, but sometimes these things do get kind of boring, but I'm understanding of it because of his financial situation, or at least I was. I make a fair amount of money in the low six digit yearly, enough to rent a place and have enough left over for food and a good time. He doesn't like going out or grand gifts, so I don't have to spend much money on him very often, mostly Christmas and Valentine's days, as he hates his birthday. So the problem isn't really the money. The problem is that he never disclosed to me that he is in a different tax bracket entirely. His parents live modest lives. They live, rent, and work in the city, but they own a house out in the country where my boyfriend currently lives. Whenever they're visiting, he does a big clean and makes sure that the place is spotless before they arrive. We've been together for 3 years, and I was helping him clean out the house one day. Cleaning his office area is when I found it, a huge binder that was labeled with his name and then finances in quotation. I dabbed a bit in finance, so I decided to just flip it open and look through it because I was curious. Inside, there were several documents, most dated around 2002. Two insurance policies with cash surrender values, double and triple my yearly salary, plus a trust account with numbers I can genuinely couldn't believe. There was some other stuff I couldn't make heads or tails of too, so I don't believe that was all that was in there. But the kicker was all of it was in his name. I'm not stupid. I know likely it was his parents who saved all this up for him and transferred it to him when he was old enough. But at any point, he could have dipped into that stuff, and we definitely could have, and it definitely could have stopped him. We could be living a much better lifestyle than the one we live now. He could have his own house, a car, and so he doesn't have to ride a bike everywhere. Hell, he could start a business instead of looking for a job. There's literally no reason either of us should be slaving away in dead end jobs and programs when he has just been lying about his finances and this book has been collecting dust. I'm not with him for his money, and I never even knew he had it before seeing it. But that made me think about all the times we talked about our future and how we would take these lavish trips and build a life spoiling each other. He could do that now if he wanted to, but he doesn't. I feel like he's just been stringing me along, and I'm not the girl he really wants to spend the rest of his life with since he doesn't use any of those resources on me. How do I talk to him about this without sounding like a gold digger?
you don't. You're slaving away.
I mean, you're slaving
You're
away.
slaving away at a dead end job. He's clearly trying to make. He's trying to make his own
Way
success, right? Like you said, it's more than likely this is what his parents or possibly his grandparents
left for him.
has left for him, and he doesn't want to completely rely on that. He wants that to be Plan B,
Mhm.
right? And a lot of times, as men, we want to establish something of our own because if we take, we want to take what was given and multiply it, right? And he probably feels like he's not in a position to do that. And the fact that you went snooping, regardless of the reason, you're snooping. And
Mhm.
it's no different than going through his phone. I mean, he has his reasons. It's not like you didn't say he's out here doing anything. Wow, you're saying you said itself that his parents live a modest lifestyle, and he follows the same suit. He lives a modest lifestyle,
Mhm.
and just because he has the money doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to spend the money.
Mhm.
So therefore, he's not in his mind. He's just living. He's living the life he's raised to live. He's living a modest lifestyle. He has everything he needs to survive, and he's not in dire need. This extravagant lifestyle that you're longing for, it may not be something that he actually wants. He probably just says these things and agrees with you because he does like you. He does love you. And but he's just trying to get to a position to where he can provide those things solely off what he is earning himself and not off of what was left to him.
Mhm. So I think,
And you wrong for snooping.
okay, yeah, I was gonna say first things first. You shouldn't have been snooping, and just because it was available did not give you right to go through his things. But I totally understand because it was right there and it wasn't available. But I'm just, I'm just being real. I remember when we were in high school and you were filling out your financial documents and stuff, and I was in your room and I was doing homework on your bed, and you left and you walked away. You think I didn't look at those papers?
Wow.
I
She
absolutely, I absolutely looked at
so
those
you're a gold
papers.
digger.
And remember when you were so surprised that I had your social security number memorized?
She a gold digger.
I also had your parents' social security number memorized.
Are you a scammer?
No, it just back then I had a photogenic memory. I don't know why, but I could look at things and just
Now you
like
can't remember where your keys are.
that. Ain't it terrible? It is terrible. I'm telling you. Anywho, like I said, yes, it doesn't make it right. It was not right. You should not go through people's personal belongings, even if you're helping to clean out. But anyway, also I think that just because, like how you said, just because he has the money doesn't mean that's how he wants to spend it. He could be very well content and was probably raised that way, right? Like you have money almost like, when you need it.
Mhm.
Just because you have it, that don't mean you go trick it off. Now,
Ooh, not trick it off.
the fact that you keep saying we could be living a better life, a more lavish life, he has all this money, we're out here struggling. He ain't struggling. He ain't struggling, baby.
He living in his
He's
parents' house.
he lives in a house that's I'm pretty sure paid for.
That's gonna be left to him.
Right, and that's gonna be like right.
He ain't
He
struggling
lives
at all.
in a house that I'm sure his parents paid for. It's probably he probably the deed is probably in his name. Okay, the deed or it's in the trust,
That's
right?
facts.
And he's the beneficiary of the trust, obviously. So he's got a home that he doesn't have to pay for, right? Rides a bike, which clearly is like a twofer because it keeps him in shape. He gets his cardiovascular workout and he gets to where he's going.
He's
And
saving money.
obviously, he doesn't go too many places that would require him needing a car. And
Mhm.
then when he does need something or go somewhere that requires a car, he probably Ubers or he has you. Or he has you, right? You
He's
fill in the gaps.
I think he's winning.
But here's the thing too. What this made me think about. Do you remember that trend that was going around on TikTok where it was like all the moms would like make these videos and they're like, "Oh, me just waiting for my husband to tell me that he's been loaded all these years
Mhm.
and he just wanted to put me to the test to see if I was going to pass the test."
Mm.
That's what it kind of reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of like he's not going to say anything, right? And what you guys build is going to be genuine and it's not going to be based off of what you think he has or what you know
And
that he does have. And then it's like when it comes to a point where he could be like, okay, like let's take this to the next level. Or
Mhm.
if he wants to like propose or marry you, then it comes to like, okay, there's something I need to talk to you about. You know?
And it's only that. Who are you to think that you're entitled to his money?
Right. You're not even a fiance. You're a girlfriend.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Bye, babe. Who are you?
This is
Who
why
are
I
you?
could not be single and now. Who are you're not entitled to nothing.
But she,
And it's not like he's out here living a extravagant lifestyle
or
without
spending it on somebody else.
without you.
Right. Or spending it on somebody else. Like,
So
but
you're gonna literally walk up to him and say, "How dare you have money and not treat me the
because
nicely?"
you know what? Here, this is what I just
This
thought
how that
about.
sounds.
This is what I
How
just
dare
thought
you
about.
have? Oh my
This is what I just thought about now, right? Because she's coming from the perspective of like, we could at least go on decent dates, right? Okay, granted, I'll give you that one. But if you knew that he was loaded, right? And he told you he was loaded, now you'll be judging the types of dates he
God. Hmm.
takes you out on, right? So if right
Ain't no
now
more
you're only
Cheesecake Factory. That's for sure.
right. If right now you're complaining that like, oh, we don't go out on dates, we don't do lavish things, we don't do basic things because he doesn't have any money. Now that you know he has money, or if you guys have that conversation and he comes to you and be like, yeah, like, I do have a trust that's
Mhm.
gonna take care of me pretty much the rest of my life that my parents or my grandparents set up for me, and the house is gonna be mine. Like, as far as life goes financially, I am set. Technically,
And also,
financially, the first thing you're gonna be doing is like wanting to spend the money,
right.
which is exactly why he probably hasn't told you he has the money.
And also, if the grandparents or the parents were smart, they probably set brackets like You can have this much at this
Oh,
age,
yeah.
then you can
Yeah.
have this much
Yeah.
more at this age.
Mhm.
So you don't know what the
Right.
stipulation around the money is. And again, I say, who are you? You
Right.
are not entitled to this man's
And
money.
then now that I think about it, because some people set their, we should put that in ours
Right.
when we can update the trust. Some people, some parents and stuff, you know how you can put stipulations on the trust for the beneficiaries, right? But what if there's like a stipulation in there that you have to like marry into a family that has
Mhm.
financial stability, or like the person that you marry has to also already be financially stable to this point. You don't know what the surrounding things are around him and having that trust
Mhm.
and having those policies, having that money available to him. There could be a multitude of reasons why he doesn't use that money.
Right.
And you don't even know if he actually has used some of the money.
Right.
He probably has used some of the money.
And it could also be that he don't have full control over the money until it's gone.
Exactly. Exactly. He only has so much available to him right
But
now.
again, I
Maybe
ask,
he waiting to ball out
who are you? Why do you feel so entitled?
because that's the girlfriend. Well,
Again, I said, was it that's the what?
that's the girlfriend,
Oh,
but
it's the what?
in today's age, wife and girlfriend are
I'm
interchangeable.
telling you right now, I couldn't be single. I'll be taking girls to Taco Bell.
You
Ruin
don't
their
know?
vows.
Wife and girlfriend are interchangeable
Mm.
nowadays.
I don't know. I guess I'm living in the 90s.
I think that's when it all started. No, I'm joking.
But it started in like around 2006, 2007 when they started handing out participation trophies. That was a downfall.
Was that 2007?
Yeah, somewhere around there. That's the downfall of everything.
I remember that. Um, the participation trophy things.
Yeah. That's when everything started going to hell. You get credit for just for showing up.
There is something to be said about showing up, though, because
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
order to try
There
to
is
be first, you have to show up.
right. You get yeah. What can be said about showing up is that you showed up. Now, did you perform?
But it takes a
But
lot to
people out
show
there are
up.
getting trophies whether they perform or not. It don't and as a kid, it don't take a lot to show up. Your parents just dropped you off because they made you come. That takes time.
Because really, when you think about it, some parents
Next
be
one.
like, "Look,"
We not finna argue
we,
this. Next one.
some parents be like, "Look, I ain't got time for this."
That's how I feel about her soccer trophy in there. I'm like, this is partake. This
Her soccer trophy, she scored 3 goals during the season. Okay, for a person who
they
took
didn't win no games.
they didn't win no games, but she
So
scored 3 goals
she
the
don't need
whole season. Okay,
next topic.
okay,
Next one.
and she's proud of that trophy.
I don't know why. I'm not.
She's proud of her gymnastic
Yeah, well, she
medals.
won those.
Yeah, she
She
won.
did the
Yeah,
work for those. I'm proud of those.
she was really
Now
proud of
this
herself.
that soccer one, trash. Those, she's like, Dad, look at my trophy. I'm like,
But now she's all about medals. She's like, "Mom, when can I get another medal?"
when you
I
perform.
was like, "What?" I said, "When you perform." I said, "You know the little blocks y'all stood on." I said, "You want to be of 1 of 3 blocks. You don't want to be down the line." I said the girls that don't get on the blocks,
They don't get no trophies. They don't get no medals.
they still get medals, but they don't get to stand on the box.
I don't know how we got here, bro. Go ahead.
I don't either. Okay. Last one. Okay, ready?
Hmm.
My husband got his affair partner pregnant.
Oh, wow.
I feel like this is right up your alley.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know why people. I don't want people. He don't have an affair partner that he.
Look, look. It don't matter, babe, what you say. I'm already a slave driver. And I'm suppressing your
Somebody
career.
called him no. She called you a slave
Yeah,
master.
it's cool.
Somebody in our
Social,
comments
it's
and
cool.
our TikTok in a response to one of our videos that we did, she called him a slave master and basically said that I must be miserable. Like basically he doesn't let me do anything, and I'm like, how did you gather all that? But luckily there was a guy that was in the comments and he was totally coming to our defenses, and he was like,
He was
what
coming to
works
my
for them.
defense.
He was like, what works for them works for them. Like, why are you coming in their
Mm.
comments with this BS? Shouts out to social media.
So, it's already people out there that think I'm the worst that are not married to
It
me. So,
doesn't matter, babe. I don't think you're the
I mean,
worst.
22 plus years, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, you're bossing. In the words of Phoenix, you're bossing me.
Yeah, she wow.
Our 6-year-old told him this morning, she was like, Dad, you're always bossing me. And I said, "He's what?" She was like, "He's always bossing me. Boys are always bossing." I said, You finna get pulled out of school. You finna be homeschooled so fast."
All because I told her to get ready for school. I
And
was
he was
bossing.
bossing her. She was like, "Dad, don't boss me." I said, "Where is this attitude coming from?"
Partic participation trophies.
Anyway, bye, Maurice. My husband got his affair partner pregnant. Okay. Hey guys, I posted on the relationship sub, but now I'm finding I have legal questions. So I've been with my husband Chris for 9 years. 7 years ago,
Man,
he
she dropped
started
the
having
names.
7 years ago, he started having an affair with his boss Hannah. Can
With
we
his
just talk
hold on,
about
with the ball? So he go to work every day and see her.
wait,
He spent at least 40 hours a week with Hannah,
but can we talk
plus
about
the
how she
extra.
said that they've been married 9 years and he's been having an affair for seven?
Couldn't be me, pimp.
Okay. So he been having an affair for 7 years with Hannah,
The whole
y'all.
time they've been together.
There was lots of lying, pretending the affair ended. It didn't. They've been together the whole 7 years. And yes, she knows about me and our children.
Damn.
Chris and I have two daughters together, 4.5 and 2.5. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and he works a construction business, and his income is roughly 100K a year. Not sure if it's relevant, but as his boss, Hannah, she makes 300K a year.
Well, yeah.
I just found out that by going through his phone that he got his affair partner pregnant. She's 13 weeks along. I have no income. He controls all of our finances. He puts money into an account for me to use for spending money and things for our daughter. We own a home together, but my name is on it. We have 3 cars, but my name is not on any of the titles of the cars. I obviously know I need to find a good divorce lawyer, but I'm wondering if there's anything I should gather up or line up beforehand. I haven't told him that I know about his new baby yet or that I'm planning to leave him. People are mentioning something called alienation of affection. I just want to make sure I have everything set up the best way possible for my daughters. Any advice or recommendations are appreciated. Thank you.
This is wild. First of all,
Take it from the top, babe.
first of all, 7 years, dude.
7 years.
So,
Like you just didn't care at
so
all
after married 9, 7 of the 9, he's had an affair,
with his boss.
and now you're ready to leave.
No, he hasn't said he was ready to
No,
leave.
she's ready to leave because she's ready to get divorced, right?
Well,
My
because now she's pregnant.
my
Now
thing,
that's the line.
right? So that's the line. So for 7 years, you just let him be in multiple relationships.
No, not multiple. Just with Hannah.
I mean, in her, so that's at
Yeah,
least two,
him
right?
and Hannah.
I don't. What's the problem now? Oh, because there's no baby.
Because there's another baby. Now listen here.
Well, it's
That's
clear.
where I draw the line.
Well, it's clear that Hannah don't need his money.
But see, they probably thinking if she have 300K, he bring home
That's
100K
fine.
together.
And
And
they'll
it's like we can do this, Chris.
they got it right. But my question is, this is what thing I don't like. I don't like his behavior because he has a daughter. Now, this may sound
Does he have
sexist
two? Yeah, it's two
because
daughters.
he has daughters. Now, because I know for a fact if his daughters got older and
And they
they
husbands did
would have
that.
been like him, he would have an issue with this.
Mm-hmm.
He's not portraying the image of
Mm-hmm.
what he would want to be his son-in-law. That's what I have an issue with. And karma is karma.
Yeah.
It's gonna come around. I hope it don't come around that way,
Yeah.
but it is coming around. Secondly, ma'am, why have you tolerated this for so long? I, at what point, you know, had um and then I also have to say, like, because I always feel like, and I know this is controversial because there's sometimes there's no reason to cheat. People just cheat to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, is there a reason why he would pursue Hannah, or did Hannah pursue him? Maybe he's in a position where he feels like he's only keeping his job because of Hannah,
See now for
or
oh gosh,
maybe Hannah won't let him go because he putting
she's
it down on Hannah. Hannah said Chris can't go home.
okay. But this is what I would say. I know that okay, so they say that people
Oh,
part
man.
of part of the excitement of the cheating is like the fact that you're getting away with it. We don't
But
spend hold on. You don't spend a lot of time together. You're kind of like
They
my
spent
break.
at least 40
Hold
hours a
on.
week together.
But you don't get to like you get to sneak away, have your moments, whatever.
Mhm.
Okay. So now that you know and Hannah knows that your wife knows, okay, so y'all still going strong 7 years. So obviously the excitement, that portion is not there, right?
Uh-huh.
Hold on.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
But now it's like now Hannah's pregnant. So really you're gonna end up back in the same situation you're in now. So I would say to the wife, maybe I'm not going to listen here. Don't, I'm just saying, like, just for discussion purposes.
Oh, what you gonna say?
Maybe you should hang on a little bit because Hannah might be losing her allure now because she's pregnant, right? He already got a wife and 2 kids at home. I come to you because what we have is not what I have at home. But
Mm.
now that you pregnant,
So you
you
saying
could be back in the same damn situation just with a different woman.
so
So how do you know that
so you saying what Hannah was bringing to him is no longer there?
it's no longer
So
there? Because think
again,
about it.
okay, I hear what you're saying, and again, ma'am, I would say leave him because do not tie your self worth.
I
Do
agree.
not tie your self worth to how this man treats you.
I agree.
You
And take him and listen here. Do what you need to do for the kids. I know you like make sure the kids are squared away. And I am not an advocate for financial abuse.
oh hell.
However,
Don't sit here trying to say I'm financially
how
abusing
no,
you.
not you. I'll say however, he owes you. Take him to the cleaners.
You don't owe her nothing. You don't owe her nothing.
He do.
She has allowed this.
Well, yeah, she had. Okay, here's the thing, though.
Here's the thing.
No,
She's
you
been
say she's allowed. She's
she's
allowed
allowed it
this.
for 7
Okay, but
years,
babe,
my
you
nigga.
also have to think about like some women that are in positions like that, right? You have children that you really heavily consider. You don't want to split your children's house up, right? Then you've been financially dependent on this man for however long.
I
He
don't
controls your finances. Like
I don't
you think
I
it's
don't
very black and white,
I
but
don't
when
rock with
people
that.
have been in hold on, when people have been in situations like that for extended periods of time, and we don't know what type of well, we do kind of know what type of man he is. He ain't an honorable.
He's slinging it. That's what he
Um,
is.
but you don't know on top of that what type of man he is and how he does their finances. Like, yes,
Mhm,
she said that he puts money into an account for
mhm.
her to like buy things for the girls
So
and
she thinks he makes 100,000. He's probably getting a bonus.
like you don't but I'm just saying you don't know. It's not for every situation
Yeah.
that's like that, it's not that cut and dry. It's not that like, okay, well you've allowed it and yeah, that's your money too. So just take your money and then you leave and he owes you nothing. It's not like that.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
not like that.
Okay.
So
I'm not saying he don't owe her nothing. Like he's responsible for the children and her time. It's
yeah.
and I mean he's gonna be hurting if she leave,
Oh, he is because
which I mean he deserves.
he's gonna have
I
to
mean
at
he
least,
hasn't
well, we
he
don't know
hasn't
like the
been
timing and all that, but he's gonna at least have to be accountable to her
my dude. Like
for
my
the
thing
lifestyle
is
she currently lives.
my
Because I'm not remarrying no time soon, boo.
my thing is like, did he just come to her like, hey, maybe he just want to be in a poly relationship. Maybe that might work for Chris.
I mean, but does that work for her?
I mean, they got enough money to have two households.
Cause listen, I just saw on I don't even know how I got on Snapchat stories. It's basically like
You
their
just be
their FY their FYP page.
you go
But you know how
wow.
they always have those little stories they talk about. So what happened was it was a girl, her and her husband obviously were married. He was having an affair with his coworker for like 2 3 years, right?
Mm.
So she said when she found out about it,
How do these
she
people have
asked,
time?
I don't know, because it's a real talent to devote that much time to another person without letting your partner find out. I don't have the energy to do it, nor do I have the desire
I
to
don't
do
have the
it.
energy to
But
shoot sometimes.
right, it'd be too much. It'd be too much, and then you want me to the juggle having no.
I want you to
Um,
juggle already. You say these things, I just confirm them. What'd you say?
anyway, he had been having an affair for like 2 or 3 years, right?
Okay.
She asked him to stop. He didn't stop. Okay, they she
She
a-
asked?
she
Can
asked
you
him
just stop, please?
She asked
What
him.
kind of
That's what she said in the interview. She was like, I asked him to stop and he didn't stop. And when he didn't stop, she said, this is what she said to herself. She said, it must be something more serious. So she asked him if he loved her. He said, yes, I do love her. And so she says, I don't believe it, but she says she came up with the idea and introduced it to him as far as, okay, well, what do you think about the idea of her dating us? And then that's how they introduced. And then they had another ceremony where he married both of them. So he like revowed to his wife and then also married her. And all together they have 8 kids. It's them three, and they all live in one big happy house. And they were talking about the number one thing that they get is like these women must be insecure or they have low self-esteem or he's
If
only
it
with them
works for them,
because
it
it's
works for
the
them.
sexual aspect of it. But I mean, just like how you said, you're like, maybe you would be into being a throuple.
Hey,
Like,
if it works for them, it works for them. As long as they're all consenting, live your life.
but I
Hey.
think I think that's different because the way you started off is a lie. Now for me, like going into a situation like that, now it just looks like I just wanted to save my marriage so bad that I was willing to allow you to make a fool of me
And I
and
feel
let
like
bring another woman into our household just so I can say I still have you, but I'm gonna share her with you just so that I don't not have you.
she allowed him to have his cake and eat it too.
Right.
But if it worked for them,
Then who am I to judge?
like old boy say, prayers are all party involved.
Shouts out to cruise season. Bye, Maurice.
Because it
Goodbye.
ain't gonna because over here,
Okay, so you have never entertained being a throuple?
no. It takes a lot of energy just dealing with you.
And that's what he said. Like in the
To
interview,
deal with another one?
they were saying like, "Oh, you're
No.
just doing it for the sexual aspect of it." And he was like, "Do you really think anybody would volunteer taking on more than one woman?" He
My
was like,
God,
"When she has
double
an
date.
attitude and she has an attitude," he was like, "You know what it's like when you have to deal with one woman
Oh
with
my
attitude.
God.
What about when you have to deal with two women with an
And I bet you they
attitude?
got a girl's daughter too,
They
huh?
have daughters and sons."
See, that's too many ovaries for me. What once the ovaries get past like 6, I extra stage left. It's too many.
Goodbye.
It's too many room.
Goodbye.
Too much estrogen going around here. I can't do it. About to get catty. I gotta leave. I'm done.
Finna get pickly. Wait, I lied.
I
Sorry.
hold on. I understand I'm rare, but I really do feel like I'm a one woman man. I just yeah, I can't.
Do you feel like I'm a one man woman?
You probably not. You know, you got whole ways. You want to be a whore someday, so you know it is what it is.
You said that on the pod?
I'd say it to your face. This is real life.
He does say it all the time.
I tell you all the time. You want to be
It's
a
in a
whore?
joking way, guys. Like, relax. Like, you don't think he's around here calling me a whore every day.
I mean,
But
I
like
mean,
I do,
I
and
mean,
I do in certain
old girl
things.
gonna believe it.
I right. I do and say certain things just so that I can get a reaction out of him. And he'll be like, "You want to be a whore so bad."
If my wife had the chance, she'd be Freaknik 97.
What?
She'd be at the Freaknik.
I would never be at the
She'd
Fricknik.
be one of them girls in the long t-shirts with no drawers on.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You absolutely do not know me. If you
Babe,
don't
I'm
know
just
me
playing.
by now,
I'm just
you
playing.
will never ever know me.
I'm just playing. You'd have your drawers on, but you still be there. Now you wouldn't be easy to give up the drawers, but you would be there. But if the right one came along,
I just be thinking about all the guys that really tried me. Like I feel like I was a challenge for a lot of people. Like back in my
it
young
wasn't that
days.
hard.
Good damn bye. Good damn bye. Good damn bye. Good damn bye.
Wasn't that hard.
Okay. I chose you. You do realize that, right?
Okay.
Right?
All right. Yeah, babe. Whatever you want.
Whatever.
Whatever you say.
Whatever.
Whatever you say.
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, this has been another episode of Life After I Do podcast.
Do
Don't
do do
forget,
do
don't forget to
do.
follow us on TikTok. I was gonna say Amazon.
Are we on Amazon? I mean, you can follow us on Amazon Podcast
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. But follow us on
or
TikTok,
Amazon Music,
Instagram,
whatever it is.
Facebook, and YouTube at
Mhm.
Life After I Do Podcast. Reach out to us at lifeafteridopodcast@gmail.com. New episodes happen every single Wednesday. And until next time, peace.
Peace.